Hey, welcome back to Ruger Knits. On this channel I talk about all things knitting, and I have a little video today, a little bit different. I'm just going to share some of my some of it's just opinions, some of it's things that I am scared to try with knitting, some of it is things that I just refuse to ever even give more than about 5 seconds of thought about for knitting. But before we get into it, I just do want to make it very clear, obviously this is all just my own opinion. I'm not trying to start beef with anybody or anything, and obviously opinions can change. This is just a lighthearted fun little video I thought I would do, so let's get into it. In 1 second, there's a light, one of these lines of light. Hopefully that's not too annoying for anybody. Yeah, before I get into it, I have been away. I've been trying to stick to a schedule of uploading every 2 weeks, but about 3 weeks ago, yeah, I think it was 3 weeks ago yesterday, I hit my head and got a concussion, so I've been away for a little bit. Yeah, I've just been super tired, and my memory and my thoughts, I just couldn't really put a thought together, so I couldn't film a video. But I'm feeling a lot better now, and I'm back. If you're curious about the concussion, I play roller derby. I used to play it for god how many years, I want to say 8 years or something, and then I stopped for a little bit over COVID, and then I just went back in January, and yeah, cracked my head on the ground. So that was super fun, but yeah, feeling much better, thankfully. So that's just why I've been away. Anyway, I'm gonna knit while I do this video, so feel free to knit along. I love that. Nothing I love more than knitting while watching a YouTube video about knitting. This pattern here, from what I can remember, I have a TikTok as well as YouTube, and I would post on both of them, and I can't remember if I've talked about this on YouTube. Definitely have on TikTok anyway, but this is a self-drafted cardigan that I'm calling my Victoria cardigan. I ended up basically finishing it and was just gonna redo the end of the sleeve, and hated how the end of the sleeve was looking. Started to frog it, and then just decided I was just gonna frog the whole thing and completely start from scratch. So that's what I've done, completely started from scratch. And initially I was off by 1 stitch count, which made the button band 1 stitch less on one side, which really annoyed me, but I tried to ignore. But now it should be all sorted, fingers crossed. It looks good, it's got the stitch count's correct and everything. But yeah, I am just knitting the body of this, and then I'm going to do some sleeves, and I have my few buttonholes done, and I've done the buttonholes better. It's easier to see the buttonholes now, so yeah, I'm much happier second time around. I am quite glad I frogged this, even though it was so much effort to re-knit it. But yeah, I am just going to knit this, and let's get into some things I'm scared to try when it comes to knitting. I am also reading off my iPad, so if I'm terrible at looking at the camera this video, it's because I'm looking at my knitting on my iPad, so sorry. And hopefully you can't hear my dog walking around in the background too much. That's Ruger. If you're new and you haven't heard why it's Ruger Knits, that's Ruger. My first thing that I'm going to talk about, I'm already a hypocrite about. I wrote this list a few weeks ago, and yeah, I'm a hypocrite. Because the first thing was continental knitting, especially purling. And guess what I'm doing in this project? I am knitting it continental. Well, to be fair, I'm knitting it half continental, half English. The purls are English, the knit rows are continental, so I'm a hypocrite. But yeah, purling, I did try the whole Norwegian purl. That's hard, oh my god. Anyway, that's something I'm scared to try. Another one, DPNs, double pointed needles. If you don't know what that stands for, Jesus. Whenever I knit sleeves, I either just knit it with magic lip, or I have shorty needles. I'm either gonna do that for sleeves or for socks as well, or mittens or whatever. I'm just gonna knit it on a little short needle or do magic lip. All those, I don't understand how you're supposed to move the stitches around on double pointed needles. It doesn't make sense to me. It's absolute witchcraft or something. How are you meant to knit on a square of needles or triangle? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's insane. It's tomfoolery. I'm not gonna try it. Something else that I am terrified of trying is cabling without a cable needle. I am at the minute knitting the Chilton socks, which you knit with a strand of like sock yarn and a strand of mohair. And I was like, do you know what? Ugh, I hate using a cable needle. It's every 4 rows you have to use it. Let's try and learn how to cable without a cable needle. No way. That yarn with the mohair is so fluffy, I wouldn't be able to pick it up again. So I don't understand how people do that. I'm about to knit another version of the Moby sweater for my husband. I just got like a massive box of yarn delivered for it. Maybe I'll try it then, because oh my god, there's so much going on in that jumper, so many different like textures and different things, different stitches to knit. So yeah, maybe I'll try it, but I'm scared. I have tried to like categorize these into like, I don't know, this list is vaguely categorized. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on that, but anyway. The next thing I'm scared to try is, and this is something that's only really like been brought to my attention recently, is that Noro yarn. I think it's Noro Madara I've got written down here. People seem to be obsessed with that yarn, and I don't get the hype. Maybe if I saw it in person, like, or if I saw like an object knit with it in person, but from what I can see online, I'm like, oh, okay. It's not my cup of tea. So yeah, it's just not my thing. Not so much scared of it, just I don't get it. I don't get it. Another one, controversial opinion, call me a snob. I don't care. Acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn can go fuck itself. I get that it's like, obviously, this is like probably my spiciest opinion. I get acrylic yarn is, what's the word? Like it has a low cost, like low price of entry or whatever for people learning to like knit and crochet, and people not learning, people who've been doing it for years and just prefer using acrylic for whatever reason. Like I'm pretty sure you can like machine wash it and probably throw it in the tumble dryer too. And obviously you can get like a massive quantity of it for like doing like a jumper or something for a lot less than you would if you were buying like, you know, sheep's wool or whatever. But I just hate acrylic. I don't know, I'm just a massive snob about it, so something that yeah, this really isn't like, I'm not scared of using acrylic, I just refuse to do it. Don't get me wrong, whenever I did first start knitting, I used acrylic. I crocheted a top with acrylic and everything. I think I knit my dog a jumper in acrylic, but yeah, definitely not something I'm keen to do again. I am a yarn snob. Another yarn I'm scared to try. This one I actually am scared to try it because I want to, but I'm like, oh, it just seems like it'll be really difficult. Is that like boucle yarn? Is that what you call it? You know, that like fluffy one? Like it's, yeah, it like literally looks like curly hair or something. I really want to knit a beanie. I forgot what it is. It's my favourite thing's knitwear beanie. Beanie number 6 maybe is like coming to my head. And it's like boucle yarn like along the brim. And I really want to knit that, but oh my god, imagine that on your needles. Imagine you dropped a stitch knitting in that. Scary, scary. Another thing that I am scared to try knitting is the ranunculus. Here, it doesn't even look like I'm knitting here. My project's like down here. Maybe I'll try and hold it up a little bit higher so you guys can see. Yes, the ranunculus, I don't get the hype. It is never ever off my Ravelry like For You page. Is it like the Hot Right Now or the Popular Patterns or whatever? It's never off there, but I just don't get it. It just like has a massive neckline, it looks like, and quite a deep like yoke. And is it like lace work, is it as well? I just like don't get the hype of it. But I've heard of people who were like, oh, I don't get the hype, and then they knit it and they're like, oh, I'm obsessed with this, I have to knit it again and again and again. Yeah, I'm scared to do that because I feel so strongly in my opinion that I really don't like it at the minute. That yeah, I don't want to do it and prove myself wrong basically and be a complete convert. Although I have been a hypocrite before. I remember saying I hated the look of like decrease, like shaping around the collar of a jumper. Do you know, if it's like you have like a normal like round collar and then you can see like the decreases here and here. I remember before I used to think that was ugly, and now I think that's actually really cute. Same with v-necks. I could never imagine wearing a v-neck jumper, and then I saw somebody wearing a really nice v-neck jumper off the shoulder, and now I'm like, I have to knit one. So I am a hypocrite. Maybe I will knit the ranunculus and get it, like get the hype. Another thing I'm scared to try that I don't even understand what it is, intentional yarn pulling. It must be when you get like, is it like variegated or self-striping yarn? No, not self-striping, it has to be like variegated yarn. And you deliberately knit from that like hank or ball or whatever in such a way that you can make the colours pull together. That is sorcery. That is just insanity to me. I just, maybe like if I figure out how to do that, I'll consider myself a real advanced knitter. But yeah, at the minute, Jesus, I just cannot even begin to wrap my head around how you would even do that. Therefore, scary. Another one in the same vein is yarn dominance. So this is colour work. Whenever you are knitting with more than one colour, I have knit a good few colour work projects before, and I just wing it. I understand yarn dominance, it's to do with which way the yarn, like the floats like cross each other, determines which like colour is going to stand out more. So I understand that's how you do it, but I can never wrap my head around, oh, if you wrap the float underneath, that means that this other colour is going to be more dominant. Like, again, it's witchcraft to me. I just cannot wrap my head around it, and I have been meaning to learn to do it, but I'm scared. I'm scared of doing it and doing it wrong, and I just can never, I've like read about it and I can never keep it in my head. Like, okay, if you want, say you're knitting something all in white with like black colour work through it and you want the black to really stand out, I can never remember, should it be the black whose float is carried under or the white? I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, I didn't really categorise my opinions too much because I got a random one here. Something that I'm scared to try is knitting or owning a piece of knitwear, like a store-bought one, Hope Macaulay, that is roving yarn or chunky yarn. Not my vibe. Not my vibe at all. I think the largest needle size I would ever like to knit a jumper on for myself is maybe like a 5.5mm needle. Anything bigger than that, nah, it's not for me. I like teeny tiny little needles, teeny tiny little stitches. Like for example, this jumper here, it's Samasgarn Pure Gin. I want to say that's maybe like a DK weight yarn or something. That's like the chunkiest yarn I would use. And the needles are 3.5mm needles. So yeah, I way prefer that. It's like more work, but I think it looks way nicer. So yeah, chunky yarn, roving yarn especially, that you can't even like wash. What happens if you buy like a Hope Macaulay cardigan or whatever, jumper, and you actually spill like a coffee down it? That's 400 quid down the drain because you can't wash that. Yeah, it's scary. Something else I'm scared to try, this is a little bit in the same vein as the ranunculus, but I am scared to knit a t-shirt, and that is because I find most knit t-shirts ugly. Ooh, another spicy opinion, which I could totally see changing down the line, but yes, I just like have never seen a knit t-shirt and been like, oh, do you know what, that's quite nice, I'd like to knit that. I'm all over like long sleeve tops. They're nice because they border just a normal sweater basically, and I love knitting like sweaters, so that's so American of me. A jumper, I would call it. I love knitting jumpers. So long sleeve tops, fine by me. Short sleeve tops, I'm not so sure. Something else I'm scared to try is knitting in pastel colours. Except for green. I love green. Green's my favourite colour, but any other pastel, like a pastel pink or yellow or anything like that, oh, it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm very much like a jewel tone and like a dark colours kind of girl. So yeah, knitting in pastels is just not something that would ever appeal to me. This list is getting further and further away from things I'm scared to try and more just things I refuse to try. Okay, maybe I'll rename the video, who knows? I'm gonna name it whatever one I think will get more clicks. And in the same vein as that, knitting in white is not something that I like to do too often. I have done it before, don't get me wrong. I've knit like a tank top in white and a jumper in white. Socks I'm knitting right now in white. Like, it is something that I'm totally up for, but yeah, again, same thing with the roving yarn. What if you drop a coffee all over that? These are real things people should be concerned about, okay? I eat spaghetti bolognese like once every week or 2 weeks. It's my favourite food ever. Messy. Like if I'm wearing something that's like white, I have to take it off for my spaghetti bolognese because that sauce is gonna go everywhere. So yeah, scary thoughts. Imagine if all my jumpers were white. I would just have to take them off every time I try to eat something. I'm about to knit in Continental. Ooh, scary. I haven't quite got it done yet. I feel like my tension's kind of fucky. I have to like adjust it all the time, which is very annoying. But anyway, my next thing that I'm scared to try is putting my knitting in the washing machine. I keep needing to adjust myself to like block out that lamp. Yeah, putting my knitting in the washing machine, especially like garments. Although, do you know what? I had a real notion. I was like, do you know, I'm just going to put all my socks in the washing machine because I had done that a few times and they all turned out absolutely fine. And then I noticed it was like one particular pair of socks. It was like had all these gorgeous little speckles through it. That all the speckles had like faded, and I noticed that like all of my socks I've knitted have faded from going in the washing machine. So yeah, absolutely put me off. That is scary. Imagine you like picked out these gorgeous hanks of yarn, and you spent like 20 quid on this hank of yarn, and all you made out of it was a pair of socks, and then you put it in the washing machine and the colour like runs out from it. Wasted 20 quid. So that is scary. And I'm also terrified of putting like any of my knitwear in the tumble dryer. I did that one time by accident, my complete own fault, with a tank top, or maybe it just went in the washing machine, but anyway, it felted, so that was very, very scary. I've also felted a pair of socks, which were like sheep's wool socks. It was no, I can't remember the yarn, but yeah, they got felted and they turned tiny and there was no saving them. And I have a jumper here. It's the Coming Soon sweater that I'm knitting for my husband. I'm actually fixing it because he wanted ribbing at the end of the sleeves, which he requested me not to do whenever I was initially knitting it. So I'm fixing it, but whenever I knit it, it was like slightly too long, so I felted it a little bit in the tumble dryer, and that was so scary. So yeah, you just got to be careful with those machines. I just way prefer, although it's so much more effort, hand wash everything. Get that gorgeous, I was using Wool Light, which you can just get in like supermarkets in the UK, and it does smell pretty nice. And then I bought as a treat proper wool wash. It's called Soak. I can't remember what the smell is. I was gonna say flavour, like I'm drinking it. I can't remember what the smell is that I bought, but it is absolutely gorgeous, and it just means every time that I wash my knitwear, the whole kitchen smells beautiful, and I don't even have to rinse my knitwear after. I just let the water out. So yeah, just do that. Just don't trust those big scary machines. Something else that I am scared of is, and this one I'm a hypocrite about because I've just said I've done it, frogging. And the reason why is obviously this is a self draft, this cardigan I'm knitting, And I'm scared of the error and trial and error. So yeah, I would rather just continue, just keep going even though I've made a mistake and stick by it than admit that I did something wrong and redo it. It's so like narcissistic or something nearly, but yeah, scary to think that you potentially make mistakes whenever you're freehanding things. Woo. Something else I'm scared of doing is weaving in ends in general, but especially weaving in ends as you go. I hate weaving in ends. I wish I could just cut it and it would be done, but I do weave in my ends at the very end, but oh my god, it's the worst. I hate that that's like the final thing you have to do for your project is weave them in. So it makes sense if I did just weave them in as I go, but that is, you have to like really love your future self to do that. To spare yourself the pain of having to weave them in all at the end, you have to really love your future self. And I'm selfish for my present self, so I'm never going to do that. Another one that shows my own selfishness is gift knitting. I've only ever gift knitted, let me say, like 2 pairs of mittens, 1 jumper, a few pairs of socks, oh, and a baby jumper, and that's it. And it's because I'm selfish and I'm scared of giving up my time, my precious knitting time, for something that I don't care about that much, because I would knit it for myself if I cared about it that much. Yeah, just it's a bit boring gift knitting. I don't get so much joy out of it. Maybe if I was like knitting for my husband, because then I could like see him wear it all the time, but he doesn't wear his knitwear as much as he should, in my opinion. But I'm still gonna do it. I'm selfish and I'm scared to knit for other people because I just want to keep my knitting for myself. God, I sound like a horrible person. I swear to God, I'm not. Something else terrifying, steeking. I would love to be able to knit a cardigan in the round and just cut it at the end, and you don't have to like purl really. There's maybe little bits of purling, but you like would barely have to purl. But what if you like cut the wrong bit? What if you like accidentally go off the line of where you're supposed to cut it, and you just completely like cut your project and all the pieces of yarn unravel? That is terrifying. I'll do it one day, I swear I will, but oh my god, my heart will be hammering if I ever have to cut my knitting like that. I have done it for like an afterthought heel and an afterthought pocket, but that's different because it's not like your entire project. Terrifying. People who steek regularly, you're crazy. You must be on drugs. Something else scary to me is knitting socks toe up or knitting a garment bottom up. What the hell? I like trying my knitting on as I knit it. Although, do you know what? I've knit this cardigan, like I've done like 120 something rows. I haven't tried it on once. So I am a hypocrite. But anyway, how many times have I called myself a hypocrite this video? Like 3 times? Yeah, knitting like toe up or bottom up. How are you supposed to know when to stop? When to like start doing the heel or start, you know, I don't know, doing like arm things for the arm, I don't know, or raglan, whatever it is you're doing. How are you meant to know? I don't get it. Do you maybe just know your measurements that well that you just know like exactly when to stop? I don't know. I gotta try things on as I knit. That's scary, the thought of not being able to do that. My next item on my list of things I'm scared to do is seaming a garment. So like knitting in pieces, knitting like a sleeve, 2 sleeves probably, a front and a back, and then like seaming it all together. That is scary. I have done it once and I don't really wish to do it again. there's too much sewing in knitting for my liking. I didn't realise how much of knitting is sewing whenever I got into knitting. Like, I didn't realise how much sewing I would be doing, but scary. That's not my craft. And I understand if you're seaming up a garment, it can make it fit better. That's what a lot of people say. Like, that's how you would see like store-bought sweaters, they're all seamed because they hold the shape better. But I just don't wish to sew that much. If I could hire somebody to do it, maybe. But also, if you're like seaming your garment, you're probably knitting the front and the back and forth, which means you're going to have to do all those purls. Who loves that? I just want to like zone out, not count a single stitch and just do knit stitch. That's my ideal project. And then my very final thing that I am terrified of, so terrified that I frogged the whole project to put it off, is writing a pattern and like grading it. Now, don't get me wrong, I've done this with socks before. I found socks not insanely difficult to write the pattern for, because especially the socks I did, there's only like 4 sizes, the tiniest little bit of mass, you know, not like for a sweater or a cardigan, which obviously I'm knitting right now. 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I had to count my stitches. I just thought of another one. Yeah, I'm doing it right now, and I really want to write a pattern for this cardigan, which I kind of am. I'm writing it for me, but I'm gonna have to like size grade that and write it for other sizes and make it make sense and work out the mass and everything, and that just seems like an insane amount of work, which is terrifying. But you know, you just gotta try it sometimes. I read The Alchemist very recently, and I'm very inspired to do a lot with my knitting, because I feel like that's like my destiny. My treasure is in knitting. So, you know, if I don't try, then I'm not going to get my treasure. If I don't try and release a pattern, you know, nobody's going to buy it and knit it. So, yeah, just I'm scared of hard work. And then, yes, the final thing I just thought of right now, because I had to count my stitches, is counting stitches. That's what I'm terrified of. I don't know how many times, especially whenever I was a beginner knitter, I just like physically couldn't count stitches. Like, I would like cast on, I would be doing a sock, let's say, and there'd be 64 stitches. I would cast that on, I'd be counting as I cast it on. I would then go and check that I had the right amount of stitches. I would count 63 and I'd be like, oh, what? I thought I counted 64. Let me count again. Then I would count again and I would get 65. Counting stitches is the worst. And it is scary whenever you count it and you have the wrong number, especially if you're like, it's in the middle of a piece. Like if it's casting on, obviously you can just like take a stitch off, put a new one on. In the middle of the piece, counting stitches, nah. Counting stitches and getting the wrong number, no. That is so scary. Absolutely terrifying. Anyway, I feel like this video is going to be a lot shorter than most of my videos. All my videos, I'm like filming them for like a full hour. I think this has been like, 45 minutes pretty much. So thank you for watching and sticking to the end. And again, this is all for fun. I'm not trying to like pick at anybody for anything. If you have like different opinions than me, that's obviously completely fine. And I understand why people enjoy different things or do different things than me, obviously. Yeah, I just thought I would do like a fun little different video. If you agree or disagree with things, let me know in the comments. Let's not start a fight now, but let's start a cool little conversation. And if there's anything I missed that you're like, oh my god, what about this thing in knitting, then yeah, comment that. Yeah, if you like this video, subscribe. I'll try and be back on my schedule. I've put it in my reminders when I'm filming my next video and when it's due to go up. So yeah, I'm gonna be on it. I'm so inspired after reading The Alchemist. I'm gonna chase my dreams. My dream of being a knitting YouTuber. So yes, subscribe if you like this video. You can also find me on Ravelry and Ravelry and Instagram are both Ruger Knits, the same as my channel, but the links will be in the bio, like at the start of the bio here. And then I also have TikTok, which I mentioned before, and it is a different name. It's just my normal name, my real name. So I think it's Claire Joy _ or something, but anyway, the link is in the bio as well. So yeah, hopefully see some of yous around there. But yeah, otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, bye!